Good evening, everyone. I hope you are well. I better take my glasses off now. So, double check to make sure that your area is safe. You will need, well, basically, I don't want you to kick anything when we're moving around. So, we will be bringing our leg out to the side. So, just making sure that you have got room to do that. And I'm just making sure, I'm going to double check, make sure there's not any messages. And then I'm going to check to make sure it's all looking light enough. Okay, so if you're going to be practicing with your socks on, please be careful that they don't slip. I'm going to be taking mine off. We are going to be starting standing. If you're playing music, sorry guys, let's get rid of these socks. Let's hit play in 3, 2, 1, and play. And then just come towards the front of the mat, not too close. Feet can be hip width apart, or feet can be shoulder width apart, or somewhere in between. Just pausing here for a moment. And then from here, just take a nice deep breath in. Nice and easy exhale. Inhale. Nice and easy exhale. And I just want to remind you, if you need to rest during our practice, please do so. If you need to make any modifications, please do so, and I'll be offering them to you. And if we have any pregnant mothers today, just making sure that you don't force any stretches or any movements. You just got to be careful of that relaxing that's floating around your system. And even if you're postnatal, we still need to be a little bit careful with that as well. So from here, I'm just going to face you to start off with, but face the end of your mat. You're just going to gently roll onto the left side of your foot. Slowly bring that foot flat to the floor, and then just roll onto the inside edge, foot flat. And then you're just going to roll to the outside edge, and then slowly onto the inside edge. Keep that right knee soft, foot flat. We're going to do outside, foot flat, and then the inside, foot flat. And let's do that on the right. So just rolling. Keep those knees soft, rolling, outside edge, and inside edge, outside, and inside, and then come to stillness. Just your feet if you need to, keep those knees soft so you can keep that pelvis in neutral, and then we're going to roll outside edge of that left foot, slowly coming through to the inside, and then rolling onto the right. Slowly bring that foot flat, rolling onto the inside, coming onto the outside edge of that left. Foot flat, inside of the left, coming onto the outside of the right. Eyes can be open, eyes can be closed. I've got my eyes open. And just allow the arms to dangle heavy at the side of the body. Fingers are soft, elbows are soft, shoulders are soft. And just rolling inside, outside. And then we'll just come to stillness. Spread those toes wide, maybe float the toes off the floor, and then see if you can place them down one at a time. Quite tough, I'm looking down at mine. Feel those arches of the feet activate, knees are soft, pelvis in neutral. And then what we do is just shift our weight to the left, and then shift our weight to the right. So that gentle sway from side to side, but keeping that pelvis in neutral, so we're not mobilizing that pelvis. And the next time you shift your weight left, maybe a gentle shoulder roll on the left. And as you shift the weight right, a gentle shoulder roll on the right. I'm just going to keep that going. Softness in the knees. And try to lengthen that spine so you've got the crown of the head towards the ceiling. And then next time you're shifting that weight to the left, maybe you can do a left arm float. And then a right arm float should come over to the right. And I'm just leading with my elbow. I'm keeping my elbow soft, my palms and my fingers soft. I'm just floating side to side, adding in that arm float. If it doesn't feel right, just roll those shoulders back. And let's do one more each side. And then come to stillness and just allow the arms to dangle at the side. And I'm going to invite you to close your eyes. And then just bring your awareness to your breath, just that natural breath. Just notice where the breath enters the body. And then just notice where the breath leaves the body. Is it the nose? Is it the mouth? Just allow the breath to soften. And as you're here, breathe in, just checking that those arches are activated, so you're spreading those toes wide. Knees are soft, pelvis in neutral, lovely long spine, the crown of the head towards the ceiling. Arms are just dangling here. Face is soft, jaw is relaxed. And we're going to inhale and direct that breath to the sides and the back of the rib cage. So you're breathing wide and full. Inhale wide and full, soft, easy exhale. Maybe out of the nose, maybe out through slightly parted lips. Inhale through the nose, direct that breath wide and full. Soft, easy exhale. And then next time you inhale, we're going to start to count the breaths. We're going to inhale for 1. Exhale for 1. Inhale 2. And exhale 2. I'm just going to carry on in your own time. You're going to count up to 10. And once you get to 10, you're going to slowly start that again. Inhale, wide and full. Soft, easy exhale. And if you want to add that gentle sway from side to side, please do so, but nice and slow. And then wherever you are, just forget the breathing. Don't forget the breathing, forget the counting of the breathing. We still want to breathe. And then just going to slowly flutter your eyes open. And then from here, take a nice deep breath in, bring the arms all the way up towards the ceiling if that feels comfortable for you. And as you exhale, slowly float the arms down towards the side of the body. Inhale, float those arms up. And exhale, slowly float them down. One more. And this time, as you start to float the arms down, you're going to hinge from the hips, slide the palms down the thighs, fingertips to the floor, slide that right foot back, right knee down, left foot back, tabletop. Checking that the shoulders are over the wrists, shoulder blades are in neutral, knees can be underneath the hips or a little bit closer in to keep that pelvis in neutral. Maybe have a little wiggle from side to side, just checking in with how you're feeling. And then from here, take a nice deep breath in, lengthen the spine, allow the chest to float forward between the arms. Feel that tailbone lift coming into a nice easy cow. You can lift the head slightly, but try not to drop the chin up. And as you exhale, push down through the palms and work with your own range of movement coming into your cow. And when you're ready to inhale, slowly start to lengthen out the spine, coming into that gentle cow, checking in with the neck and the lower back, checking that you're not just dropping the belly towards the floor, working with your own range of movement, coming into that cat. We're going to do one more cow, one more cat. Slowly come back to tabletop, maybe a little lean to the left, step that right foot forward. And we're coming into a halfway lift, so I'm bringing my left knee off the floor, weight to that right foot. You can heel toe the feet a little bit wider apart. I've got mine a little bit wider than hip width apart. Allow the hips to float back, lots of bend in the knees, and then hip hinge all the way up. I'm just allowing my palms to travel up the thighs. And then slowly float the fingertips up towards the ceiling, checking that pelvis is neutral, Slowly float the arms down to the side of the body. Inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, float the arms down. Inhale, up. And exhale, lower down. And then from here, we're going to hip hinge all the way down. Plant the hands, slide that left knee back, the right knee back. Have a little wiggle from side to side. Just checking in with how you're feeling. And then from here, let's slowly, slowly, slowly come into that gentle cat. And then we'll come into our cow. And then cat. And then cow. And then just slowly come to neutral. And then we'll step that left foot forward. I'm tucking my right toes, bringing my right knee off the floor, weight onto that left foot, that halfway lift. Allow the hips to float back, weight even for both feet, push down for those feet as you hip hinge all the way up. Bring the fingertips up towards the ceiling. Exhale, float the arms down towards the side. Pause in here, take a nice deep breath in. Big sigh out. Come back to that natural breath. Inhale, float the arms, fingertips up towards the ceiling. Exhale, hip hinge all the way down. Bring that right foot back, the left leg back. You're coming into your tabletop. And then from here, check in that you're in neutral. You can stay here with the palms on the floor, or you can bring that right lower arm down towards the floor so you're staggered. Shoulder, right shoulder over that right elbow if you're coming into that staggered arm position, and then elbow in line with that wrist, left wrist. And from here, float that left knee off the floor. Check that you're not rounding the hips out to the left. You're still square on. Flex that foot. Slowly lower that knee to the floor and squeeze up. Glute raises. Slowly lower down and then squeeze it up and lower down. So just waking up those glutes. Check in with the breath. Check that that pelvis is in neutral. And let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly come to tabletop, and then we'll swap it over. If you want to, coming into that staggered position, left elbow, left shoulder, and then right elbow of that right wrist. I'm just checking my base. Awareness to that right glute, and then I'll slowly come up. Hips stay square onto the floor, to the mat. Flex that right foot, slowly lower down and squeeze up. Lower down and squeeze up. Keep it slow and controlled. Really keep the awareness in the glutes and that pelvis in neutral. Check in with the breath. And 2 more. 1 more. Slowly bring that knee down. Slowly come to tabletop, tuck the toes. Walk the hands back towards the knees. Float both knees off the floor. So you're like this little squat. From here, float the hips up and back, heels lower to the floor. I'm just heel toe my feet a little bit wider apart. Really lengthen out that spine. Hands can be on the thighs, or fingertips can be on the floor or a block. And then hip hinge all the way up. Take a nice deep breath in, reach fingertips up towards the ceiling. And exhale, slowly, slowly, slowly float the arms down towards the side of the body. We're coming into a chair. So with your chair, you can be high or you can be low, up to you. Arms, you can just stop them up, they can stay up, and then you come up, or you can swing them back, or they can just stay at heart or at the hips. So when you're ready, slowly reach fingertips up towards the ceiling if you want to, and then I'll slowly float the hips back for chair. Checking that the knees are going in the direction of your toes. Check that your knees aren't rolling in or rolling out. So you're spreading those toes wide, activating the arches of the feet, allowing those hips to float back, broad across the collarbones, and let's do 1 more. And then from here, we'll slowly hip hinge all the way down. Plant the hands, just walk the hands forward a little bit, Both knees land on the floor. Walk to your tabletop. And then from here, take a nice deep breath in. Sigh out. Step that right foot forward, right palm to that right thigh. Slowly bring that belly round to the right. Just a nice easy twist here. Releasing that left ear towards that left shoulder, left wrist, leaning back into that left shoulder blade. And then slowly bring the belly back round to center, right fingertips to the floor, and then we're shifting forwards. You've got that little weight shift onto the right, that halfway lift, hip hinge all the way up, reach fingertips up towards the ceiling, and as you exhale, slowly come all the way back down. Slide that left foot back, left knee down, and then right, tabletop. Now this time you can stay in tabletop, or you can come back to that staggered, and we're coming into single leg hip circles. So left knee, float that off the floor here, and then just going to circle at the hip. Work with your own range of movement. Shoulders are over the wrists. And let's change direction. Just allow that breath to flow. And then float that left knee down. Let's repeat that on the right. Float that right knee up. And when you're ready, circle at the right hip, working with your own range of movement. Just remember that it may feel a little bit different this side. One more. And then we'll slowly change direction. And then from here, we'll float that right knee down. Walk the hands back towards the knees. Coming up onto the balls of your foot. Pausing here for a moment. Lengthen out that spine. Lower the heels to the floor. Allow the hips to float back. I'm heel toe my feet a little bit wider apart. Lengthen out that spine. Hip hinge all the way up. Have a lovely long stretch here. And release the arms down towards the side of the body. Checking at that pelvis in neutral. Knees are soft. And let's come into our chair. So when you're ready, we're going to float into chair. Checking in with those knees. Going in the direction of the toes. Not long in or out. Chest is open. And try not to jut the chin up. Just floating. You can be high, you can be low, you can be in between. Let's do one more. And then we'll slowly come up. And then we'll hip hinge. Bring the hands, walk them forward so you can bring both knees down towards the floor. Slowly, slowly, slowly walk to tabletop. Have a little lean to the right, step that left foot forward. And then bringing that left palm to the left thigh, bring that belly round to the left, right shoulder, right wrist, allow that right ear to release towards that shoulder, just pausing here, leaning back into that right shoulder blade. And then from here, bring that body forward. We're going to shift away onto that left foot, right knee off the floor, halfway lift, adjust your feet, hip hinge all the way up, have a lovely long stretch. Slowly release the arms towards the side of the body. You can shift your weight from side to side, do a little shoulder roll, grab yourself a drink. And then from here, 1 minute in stillness, take a nice deep breath in, reach fingertips all the way up to the ceiling. And as you exhale, hip hinge all the way down. And then step that right foot back, right knee down. We're coming into a 90-90 kneeling lunge. Keep those right toes tucked. I'm just going to come in a little bit of an angle. Arms shoulder height. Soften the fingers, soften the elbows. And you're just going to slowly draw that elbow back. And then slowly, slowly, slowly bring the arm forward. You're going to draw it back. And then slowly bring it forward. Now you can stay with that, you can draw it back, or you can now open out that arm. And then bringing that belly back to center, the ribs back to center, arm comes along to the right. You're going to draw it back, open out, and then slowly come back. Let's do that one more time. Draw it back, open out that arm, Slowly, slowly, slowly bring it forward. Bring the top of the left foot to the floor. Push down to the top of the left foot. Reach out of the left foot, right knee. Reach fingertips all up to the ceiling. Have a lovely long stretch here. And exhale, slowly plant the hand. Slide in this left leg back behind you, so you're on the ball of the foot. Now, from here, you can float the toes off the floor, you can bend that knee and just pause here. Check that that pelvis is neutral. Breathe and wide and full. So that leg can be bent, or that leg can be lengthened out. And then from here, float the toes to the floor. You're going to slide that leg out to the side, and I'm going to invite you to bring the foot flat to the floor, but bend that knee. I'm tucking my right toes, and I'm just going to slowly allow my hips to float back towards my heel. You can come onto that heel of that left foot, slowly float up. We will be coming back to this, so you'll have the option to lengthen out that leg. I thought we'd start with it then. Let's do one more. And then from here, you're going to just slide that leg back behind you, bring it back to tabletop, tuck the toes, slowly, slowly, slowly float back. Coming onto the balls of your feet, just pause in here. You can have fingertips on the floor, or they can be on the palms. Hands can come through to heart center, it's up to you. And then from here, I'm bringing my fingertips to the floor as I allow my heels to come back, float those hips back, and then slowly hip hinge all the way up. Have a lovely long stretch. Release the arms, adjust your feet, ready for our chair floats. Here we go, we're going for 6. So I'm going to float down for 1. Check in with those knees for 2. Check that you're spreading those toes wide for 3. Do whatever you want with the arms for 4. Check in with that breath for 5. And then for 6. Slowly, slowly come up. Release the arms. Now for some of you, you can squat all the way down, or you may want to hip hinge down and then come up, how we started. But if not, you can just squat down, knees to the floor, walk the hands forward, shoulders over wrists. Let's do 3 rounds of cat-cow. So you can start with your cow if you want to, and then cat, or you can do cat, and then coming into your cow. 3 rounds. And then we'll meet in neutral, tabletop, right foot forward, slowly coming into that kneeling twist on the right with the option of bringing the right fingertips up towards the ceiling. Try not to force that twist. Slowly, slowly, slowly float that right hand down. Let's step it forward with that weight shift into that right foot, halfway lift, and then we'll hip hinge all the way up. Have a lovely long stretch, or maybe just float the arms up. Just be careful, my pregnant mummies, with those stretching. Hip hinge all the way down. And then we'll step that left foot down. Keep those left toes tucked. 90-90, kneeling lunge. Bring the arms up to shoulder height. Shoulders soft, elbows are soft, fingers are soft. And we're just going to pull it back. And then slowly come forward. As you pull back, you'll have a slight rotation through the rib cage, that thoracic spine. This time you can pull back. You can open up that arm. And then just bringing the ribs and the belly back to center, arm comes along for the ride. We've got one more. And then from here, top of the left foot to the floor. So push down to the top of the left foot, lifting out through that left knee. Check in with the breath. Plant the hands, sliding that right foot back behind you on the ball of that right foot. Float the toes off the floor. You can stay here with that leg long, without hyperextending it out. You can bend that knee. Try and keep that pelvis in neutral. You're drawing up through the front of the body. Shoulders are over the wrists. You're not dropping the head down or jutting that chin up. And just breathe. And then we'll float the right toes to the floor. Slowly and carefully slide it out to the side. And then I'm just bending that knees. I'm just heel-toeing that foot in. Foot flat on the floor. I'm tucking my left toes. I'm just checking to make sure I've got no messages from anyone. And then from here, we're just going to float the hips towards the heels and then slowly float back, shoulders over wrists. Hip towards the heels, shoulders over wrists. One more. And then we'll slowly float that foot back. Come to tabletop. Now you can do 3 rounds of cat-cow, or you can join me. I'm just allowing my hips to float back towards my heels. And then from here, I'm rounding up cat, shoulders over wrist, lengthening out the spine, chest floats forward slowly and carefully, checking in with my neck and my lower back for cow. And then I'm just allowing my hips to float back towards the heels, spine will lengthen out, and I'm rounding, coming up to cat. Slowly and carefully float through to cow without jutting up my chin or dropping my belly to the floor. Last one. And then from that gentle cow, we're meeting tabletop, a little lean right step, that left foot forward, left palm to the left thigh, coming into that 1919 knee and twist. Option, bring the fingertips up towards the ceiling, checking in, right shoulder, right wrist, leaning back into that right shoulder blade. Fingertips can reach up towards the ceiling. You don't have to lock the hands out. Slowly bring the left fingertips down to the floor so that belly comes back to center. Weight's coming into that left foot, float that right leg off the floor, halfway lift, and then hip hinge all the way up. And just gently roll those shoulders back, have a little sway from side to side. I'm grabbing a drink. And then from here, I'm just going to show you what we'll be doing, just so that we don't get lost. We're going to be doing a baby tree, then we're coming back, and then we'll be stepping open into a warrior 2 or set up base. Then we're going to be floating up, then we're going to be reverse warrior with the option of coming into a reverse triangle. So that's just gently lengthening out that right leg without hyperextending it. Coming back through warrior 2 into the side angle, whichever version. So you can be up here, hand can even be here, you can be low, you can bring that bicep to the air, and then from here, I'm just going to start to soften that back leg, coming onto the heel of my right foot, pivoting round and coming to side lunge. And then once we've done our side lunges, we're coming back towards the right, and then we're coming down, and then you have the option to come into Superman. You can be here, you can be here, or even that leg bend. Okay, and then we'll just coming down, out to the side, and then coming back and into chair. And then when we come back to doing our, before we come into our half weight lift, I'm just going to let you know, your option will be here in a kneeling twist. I'm going to walk you through this as we go through it, or you can walk forward and come into a grounded warrior 3. This back leg can even be bent, or the toes can be touching the floor. Okay, so I'm going to talk you all the way through it. Just want you to pre-warn you. So grab a drink, or me, on my mat. Pelvis are neutral, knees are soft. Root down through both feet, spread those toes wide. Shift the weight onto the right, and then we're coming into a baby tree. So I'm on the ball of my left foot. Now, check that you've not turned that knee out too much so that you're rotating the hips out to the side. Hips are going to be square on towards the front of the mat. Hands can be at heart center, or hands can be here down at the side of the body. Check that that right knee is soft, spreading those right toes. Check they're not dropping the head forward and they're not jutting that chin up. Breathing into the sides and the back of the rib cage. Soft, easy exhale. That's inhale for 1. And exhale for 1. Inhale for 2. And exhale for 2. Inhale for 3. And exhale for 3. And then from here, bring the arms to the side of the body if they're not already. And then you're going to inhale wide and fall and bring the arms all the way up if that feels comfortable for you. Slowly bring the palms together, and as you exhale, slowly bring the hands down past the face, past heart center to the belly. Pause in here. Then release the arms. Inhale, slowly bring them all the way up. And when you're ready to exhale, you bring the palms together, Slowly, slowly bring the hands all the way down to the belly. And when you're ready to inhale, I'm going to go straight back up with those arms. And when you're ready to exhale, slowly, slowly, slowly bring them down to the belly. Let's do one more. And we'll meet the hands at the belly. Just slowly bring that left knee to point straight ahead. Step that left foot back. Pivot on that back foot. So we come into a right warrior two. Just wiggle those toes about. Wiggle the feet. We'll meet in warrior two. Step your base. Rooting down for those feet. So spread those toes wide. Checking in with that front knee so it's not rolling in. Going in the direction of your toes. Shoulders are soft. Elbows are soft. Take a nice deep breath in. Lengthen out that right leg. And exhale, soften warrior two. Stay nice and strong as you tip it back. You can stay here in your reverse warrior, or you can lengthen out that right leg without hyperextending it. Reverse triangle, checking in that you're not holding that head up. And then we'll just slowly float back to warrior two. Coming into your version of side angle, just taking your time, seeing which variation feels right for you. And then from here, I'm just starting to bring that left hand down towards the floor, softening that left knee, shifting my weight back towards that left foot, coming to my right heel, coming into a side lunge, moving from the hip joint. So you can be high, you can be low. Hands can be on the hip joints, so those hip creases, on the thighs. Some of you may be able to bring the fingertips towards the floor, but keeping that spine nice and long. And then from here, I'm going to slowly start to pivot back into those warrior two legs, starting to bend that right knee, so you're coming into your side angle, and then allow the left hand to float to the floor, bring the belly round, bring that left knee underneath that left hip. Slowly slide that right leg down and back behind you. Float the right toes off the floor, option to bend that right knee, option to float the left palm off the floor, or bring the arm up, coming into Superman. Pause in here, breathe to the sides and the back of the rib cage, check that the hips are square on, soft, easy exhale. Slowly bring that left hand underneath that left shoulder, right toes to the floor, slide that leg out to the side, unbending, right? But you can keep your nice and long. Left shoulder, left wrist, bring that belly open to the right. Right palm can stay on that right thigh, you can bring the fingertips up towards the ceiling. Now, as you exhale, slowly start to bring the hand back down, and then you're going to hug yourself. If you're pregnant, you're giving your baby a hug, and then we'll just slowly open the belly out to the right, left shoulder, left wrist, and when you're ready to exhale, slowly bringing that belly back to center. Give yourself a hug. One more. Last one. Give yourself a hug, and then just open out, fingertips up towards the ceiling. And then we'll just slowly float that right palm down towards the floor. And then from here, you can just float the hips back towards the heels. So you can keep that leg bent, you can keep a slight softness, or it can be long, and just floating backwards and forwards, just taking your time, checking in with how you're feeling. And I'm going to do one more. And then from here, slide the toes back behind you, slowly come to tabletop. And then just from here, have a little wiggle from side to side. And then we'll just walk our hands back towards our knees. Float the knees off the floor. Slowly bring the hips back, heels to the floor, hip hinge all the way up, so at the back of the mat. Float the arms up. And then when you're ready, we'll slowly come into your chair for one. We're going for 6. Now, if that feels too much, then just do maybe 1 or 2 chairs, and then you can just stand a mountain till we're ready. I've lost count. I'm going to do 1 more, and hopefully that's 6. And then just release the arms down. You can heel toe the feet down. You can hip hinge down, or you can just slowly squat down. Bring the heels off the floor. Allow the knees to come to the floor. Walk the hands forward, tuck the toes. You can do cat-cow or you can do your rolling cat-cow. I'm starting off with a cow, so I've got my hips towards the heels and allow my chest to float forward all the way up, shoulders over wrist, and then I'm pushing down, coming into my cat, and then hip to heels, lengthening up the spine, coming into my cow as I float up. Just let the breath flow. And then we'll meet in tabletop. You're going to slowly bring that right foot forward. Option is your kneeling twist from here, or you can join me. I'm just going to start to walk my hands forward so my left knee floats off the floor, coming into that grounded warrior. I'm up on my fingertips. I've got softness, bending my right leg, lengthening out my spine. And then from here, I'm just bending my right knee a little bit more, bending my left leg so I can bring it to the front of the mat. Weight even both feet, and then hip hinge all the way up. Reach your fingertips all the way up to the ceiling. And when you're ready to exhale, you're going to hip hinge all the way back. And then from here, I'm going to step back, left foot back. I've just got to grab a drink, kneeling lunge. And then from here, we're going to slowly come back and then open out. Slowly come back and open out. Have a nice long stretch. And then we'll bring the fingertips to the floor, sliding that right leg back. And then we're coming in to our Superman. I think I've forgotten something, but I can't think what it is for now, but we'll stay here in our Superman. And then you're going to bring that right palm down. Yes, I know what we've forgotten. Guys, I've forgotten our tree. So come to the front of the mat. I'm so sorry. We're coming to the tree. I was going, this is all wrong. I am so sorry. I've mucked that up completely. Let's shift our weight onto that left leg. Soften that left leg. Spread the toes wide. Coming into the street. Pelvis in neutral. Checking that you're not rotating that leg out so much that you're twisting the hips. Hands can be at the side or hands through to heart center. I'm so sorry about that. Just pausing here. Let's check back in with the breath. Check in with that knee, left knee soft, spreading the toes wide, and then just bring the arms to the side of the body. Inhale, float the arms all the way up. When you're ready to exhale, bring the palms together, slowly bring the hands down. Past the face, past heart center to the belly. Just pausing here for a moment, check your base. And then your next inhale, slowly float the arms up. Bring the palms together, slowly float all the way down to the belly. And when you're ready to inhale, slowly come up. One more. Hands to the belly. Swivel that right knee to face forward, step it back, coming into your left warrior two, set your base. Check in with that left knee, checking in with the feet. Checking that your head, shoulders are over those hips. Shoulders are soft. And then we'll inhale, lengthen that left leg. Exhale, soften down. Staying strong as we tip it back. You can stay here in your reverse warrior, or you can lengthen out that left leg. Reverse triangle, checking with that head or neck. And then we'll just slowly start to come back to warrior two. Slowly coming back into your side angle, so just taking the time. Hand can just be at the hip. You can have fingertips up towards the ceiling. That lower arm down, right bicep by that right ear. Checking in with that front knee. And then slowly start to bring that right hand down towards the floor, softening that right leg, pivoting on the heel of that left foot, coming into that right side lunge. So we're looking down towards the floor. If you're low, fingertips can be down on the floor. Hands can be in those hip creases, the thighs, or the knees. Check it with the breath. And then we'll just slowly start to soften that right leg as we shift the weight over to the right, pivoting around, Coming into that low lunge, bring that right knee to the floor, slide it back. Now we're coming into our Superman. And then just checking in. You're going to breathe wide and full. Soft, easy exhale. Remember, it's your Superman, so that palm can be on the floor. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Right hand underneath the right shoulder, toes to the floor. Slide that leg out nice and long. You can stay here or you can bend. I've got my foot flat on the floor. I'm slowly bringing the belly around to the left. So the left palm can stay on that thigh or the fingertips up towards the ceiling, right shoulder, right wrist. And then slowly float down, belly back to center. Give yourself a hug. And then we'll slowly inhale and open up. And then we'll slowly exhale, belly to center, hug. Last one. And then we'll just lengthen back out with that inhale. And then we'll slowly float that hand to the floor, belly to center. You can lengthen out that leg, or you can stay there. I've got my right toes tucked. And when you're ready, you're just going to float hips to heels, working with your own range of movement. I'm just going to do one more. And then just slowly bring that leg behind you, come into tabletop. And then from here, just walking the hands back towards the knees, floating the knees off the floor. Hips float back, heels to the floor. You can wiggle the feet to bring the feet the right distance for you. So you can hip hinge all the way up. Have a lovely long stretch. You can come straight into your chair, or you can stay in mountain. So I'm floating my hips back for one. And then slowly, slowly, slowly coming up. Let's go for 2. Slowly coming up for 3. For 4. For 5. And for 6. And then you can release the arms. You can adjust your feet. You can slowly come down to squat, or you can hip hinge, knees to the floor. Walk the hands back out, tabletop, toes are tucked. And then you can either stay in tabletop to do your cat-cow, or you can do a rolling cat-cow. Slow and controlled for 3. Just let that breath flow. Working with your own range of movement. And it's just a gentle cow, so just be careful of that lower back and the neck. And once you've done your 3, we'll meet in tabletop. And then from here, I'm bringing that left foot forward. Now you can come into that twisted lunge, or you can join me. I'm just going to start to walk my hands forward, floating my right toes off the floor. That knee can be bent. Bend in that left leg, lengthen out that spine, check that I'm not jutting at that chin. Pause in here. And then just bend that left knee a little bit more, bend that right leg. And we'll all meet, halfway lift, and then that hip hinge all the way up. And slowly, slowly, slowly float the arms back down to the side. Maybe have a little sway from side to side. Maybe roll those shoulders back. Checking in, grab yourself a drink if you need to. And then from here, lay even on both feet. We're coming into a single leg balance. I'm going to shift the weight onto that right foot. Spread those right toes wide. Then you can be here on the ball of that left foot. And that can be your single leg balance. Arms can be at the side, or you can bring the hands through to heart center. Softness in that right leg, pelvis in neutral. So you can stay here, or you can float the foot off the floor. Just staying here in your single leg balance. Find your focal point. Check that you're not dropping the chin forward or jutting that chin up. And then from here, you can either step or slide it back to high crescent lunge. Checking that that pelvis is in neutral. So you may need to soften up that leg. Now, if your balance is a little bit wobbly at the moment, you can lower down and bring that knee to the floor and come into a kneeling lunge. And then you can bring the fingertips up towards the ceiling. And then from here, we're going to inhale, lengthen out that right leg. And then exhale, soften back to crescent, and then bring the hands here to shoulder height, soften. And then from here, you're just going to draw that elbow back, open out the arm, keep the hips square, and then slowly, slowly come back. Now, you can stay with that, or you can bring the left fingertips up towards the ceiling, and you can backstroke the arm back, and then bring it forward. Slowly come up, and backstroke it back. Now, you can bend that left elbow, so as you come up, elbows bend, and then forward. Let's do one more. And then slowly release those arms and then slowly bring them all the way up. And exhale, soften down. Inhale, slowly come up. And exhale, soften. One more. And then soften. And then from here, you're either going to step or slide forward. And then we're coming back into baby tree. Bring the hands through to heart center. If you want to slide the toes above the ankle, please do so. Check your base. Rooting down for that right foot. Breathe into the sides and the back of the rib cage. One more breath. And then we'll just slowly come back. Weight even on both feet. If you need to shake that left leg out, please do so. And then let's come into our single leg balance. So shifting the weight onto that left foot. Toes are spreading wide, softness in that left knee. You can be on the ball of that right foot, pelvis in neutral, lovely long spine. You can float that leg up a little bit higher. Hands can be wherever feels comfortable for you at the moment. I'm wobbling a little bit, so please don't look at me. And then when you're ready, you're either going to step or slide it back. 2 lines, not one. High crescent. Remember, you can lower down and bring that right knee to the floor for stability. You can bring the fingertips up towards the ceiling. And then slowly float the arms down towards shoulder height. And then from here, you're just going to draw that arm back. Open it out wide. And then slowly come forward. So now you've got the option of bringing the fingertips up towards the ceiling, that little back stroke, and then bring it forward. We're going to do that again. Remember, you can do that with a bent elbow. Just working with your own range of movement. No forcing. Got one more. Trying to keep those hips square. And then slowly bring the fingertips up towards the ceiling. And exhale, release the arms down. Let's inhale, lengthen that left leg up. And exhale, releasing, high crescent, release the arms down. Let's do it 2 more times. Last one. And then from here, step, slide it forward. And then coming into that baby tree, set your base. Soften that left knee, rooting down from that left foot. Check that you're not dropping the chin forward or jutting it up. Bring the hands through to heart. Breathing wide and full. You can stay here, or maybe you slide the toes up above that left ankle. Up to you. Hips are square on. Breathing to the sides and the back of the rib cage. One more breath. Slowly float that right foot down. And then maybe have a little sway from side to side. Maybe give those legs a shake. Maybe a little shoulder roll. And then from here, we'll just hip hinge all the way down. Coming into kneeling. Don't worry about which foot slides back. And once you're here, have a little wiggle from side to side. And then I'm going to give you options for your glute stretch. You can slide that left foot towards that left wrist and coming into your pigeon. Or you can join me. I'm just going to bring my left foot in front of my right. And then you can come forward. Or if you want to, you can stack that foot on top of the right and come into double pigeon. So whichever works for you, but just checking in with that left knee, the left ankle, checking in with the right side, checking in with those hips, see what feels comfortable for you. If you're coming into cross-legged, you can bring that foot forward and bring the knee sits in line with the hip and flex the feet. You might be able to flex both feet. If you're doing double pigeon, you don't have to have the knee exactly in line with that ankle. Just see what feels comfortable for you. Listen to that knee. If you're seated, you can come forward, you can stay upright, you can just rest the arms here on your thighs. And then just check in with that breath, just allow that breath to slow down. One more breath. Now, if you're doing pigeon, then you just slowly transition all the way up to tabletop and then swap over legs. And if you're seated, you're just going to slowly unravel the legs and then just change position. Just slowly taking your time, checking in with that right knee, right ankle, right hip, checking with the left side, and then just checking in with the breath. Just taking your time. This side may feel a little bit tighter, maybe it's your looser side. Just allowing that breath to flow. Just keep that jaw relaxed. Just trying to keep that upper body soft. If you're seated, you can be sitting upright or you can be forward. Just seeing what feels right for you. One more breath. And then if you're on pigeon, you'll slowly come up to tabletop. And if you're cross-legged, just slowly uncross the legs and coming into our final relaxation. So I'm going to invite you to grab layers. I'm going to invite you maybe to grab a cushion or a pillow. I'm just going to go and grab a cushion to sit on. And then we'll meet in whichever position feels comfortable for you for your final relaxation. I'm going to be seated because I'm going to be reading you a guided meditation. So you can either come into this knock-knee position, so feet shoulder width apart, toes turned in slightly, knees together. Arms can be down by the side of the body, or maybe you've got the hands touching the body. You can come into your Shavasana, just allowing the feet to flop over to the side. If I have any pregnant mummies or anyone with bad backs, you may feel more comfortable just curling from one side. You can have a pillow underneath your head. You can prop pillows in between your legs. If it feels uncomfortable for you, because you can do this seated in a chair at your home, or you can join me, come and sit on the cushion. And then wherever you are, just get yourself nice and comfy. Soften the forehead, soften the space between the eyebrows, and relax the jaw. Soften the chest, the ribs, the belly. Fingers are soft, palms are soft, elbows are soft. And I'm reading you a guided meditation from Enchanted Journeys by Sarah Robinson. And I'm reading Leaving the Day Behind. So this meditation is intended to help you unwind from your day and move into a restful evening. If you want to turn your music off, you've got music playing, please do so. But just check in that you're nice and comfy. Just settling in here. I'm just going to say goodbye to the day and count some of the gratitudes we've experienced during the day. So as we step over the threshold into the evening, into the night, let's first reflect on the day. We might start with simple gratitude that we had clean clothes to put on this morning, that we woke up in our warm bed, that we have food in our bellies from a day of eating breakfast, lunch and dinner perhaps. And then we'll move on to the people we met today, and even some challenges we may have overcome. Maybe we're simply grateful that we made it through the day. Sometimes that's enough. And just take your time just to reflect on the day in gratitude for a few moments. Something we can always be grateful for through each day and each night is our breath. It is a constant companion, so that's where we'll move our attention next. If it's comfortable to do so, rest your hands somewhere on the chest or the tummy, where you can feel the rise and fall of the breath underneath your hands. Feeling that movement, that rhythm of the breath underneath the hands, and also the weight and warmth of your hands upon your body. Connecting to body and breath, that which we can always be grateful for. This body and breath that have carried us through our day. Body and breath can now help ease us into the evening. Feeling that movement of the breath, we'll inhale for a slow count of 3 and exhale for a slow count of 3. Just taking our time, visualizing the lungs completely filling with air on that slow 3 count and completely emptying of air on that slow 3 count. And we'll continue this slow and easeful breath, a gentle rhythm. You can keep the hands on your body if that feels nice, or you can just let the hands fall to a restful place. And along with bringing all focus inwards towards that slow and steady breath, we're taking our time to consciously draw our mind towards the breath. And as we draw it inwards, we can draw our thoughts, our attention, our awareness away from our day, leaving the deadlines and schedules at our workplace. We are consciously stepping away from the tasks we've done today, the projects, the things that have gone well and the things that have not. Whatever has happened today, it is time now to set those things aside. Time now to embrace the here and now. The restful dark of the evening, a time for drawing inwards, for rest and reflection. And as we let go of the business of the day, if we've had a stressful day, we may have gathered tension within our tummy or our hips. If we felt anxious, we may have felt it within our shoulders. Here is a time where we can consciously let go of those areas of the body we've been holding onto today. We've held ourselves tall. We've held ourselves strong. Now it's safe to let go, to let the body surrender, to release and allow the body to relax. Softening the feet and the legs that have carried us around today. Softening the hips and tummy and the chest as it rises and falls with the breath. Softening the arms and shoulders, the muscles of our back, and releasing any little tension around the neck or the jaw, or even that we may be carrying within our face and the tiny muscles around the eyes and the forehead. We can thank the body for all that it's done for us today and how strong it has been to carry us through the day. But now it is time to bring body, breath, and mind to a slower pace, an unwinding and unraveling of tension as we move into our evening and as we take our final few moments to relax here. I'd like you to envisage in your mind's eye how you may journey from day to night. Perhaps you envisage stepping over the threshold of a beautiful doorway and then closing the door behind you on the stresses of the day. Maybe you walk over a bridge, a stream trickles below you, carrying away the noise of the day. Maybe you swim through water and the water washes away the day. Allow yourself to envisage the threshold you're moving over in any way you wish as you make your conscious choice to hold this beautiful evening and night in a special place, in a special way for you. Somewhere you can relax and let go and enjoy a little peace on this beautiful evening and night. I wish you a restful night. And just slowly bring awareness back to the breath. Just following the breath as it flows in through the body and out from the body. And just slowly bring awareness to the body. Maybe you stay here still. Maybe you like to wiggle the fingers. Maybe you'd like to wiggle the toes. Maybe you want to add a little bit more movement to the body. Maybe you'd like a full body stretch, or maybe you'd like to hug the knees in towards the body. Whatever you need. And then when you're ready, you just slowly roll onto one side. And then from here, you'll just slowly, with the eyes closed, just push and pull yourself all the way up to seated. Maybe easy cross-legged, maybe kneeling, maybe you're sitting on a cushion or a pillow. And once you get here, have a little wiggle from side to side. Lengthen the spine, crown of the head towards the ceiling, keep those eyes closed. And then just slowly come to stillness. Face is soft, shoulders are soft, hands can be on the feet, the thighs. Just pause in here. Just following the breath. And then on your next inhale, slowly float the arms and fingertips up towards the ceiling. And as you're ready to exhale, bring the palms together, slowly bring the hands all the way down through to heart center and allow the thumbs to plug into the heartbeat. Fingers are soft, palms are soft, soften the shoulders, just allow the elbows to point down. Take a nice deep breath in, open the mouth, just gentle sigh out. Slowly bow the head towards the fingertips. Take a nice deep breath in. Open the mouth, easy sigh out. And just slowly flutter your eyes open. Maybe gazing at the fingertips, maybe gazing at your mat. And then take a nice deep breath in, open the mouth, and a big sigh out. And then just slowly, slowly bring the head all the way up. From my heart to yours. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much for joining me this evening. I hope you enjoyed that practice. If you like that meditation, I will try to remember to type it up underneath. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Take care. See you soon, everyone. Happy New Year.